Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for October 28th, 2024. It's Season 3, Episode 302. I am Mayor Watt, and along with the sentient AI from the future, which is that visualizer right there, we're going to be talking about Chalamet, a doppelganger in cuffs, stand on one leg and get younger. Are you serious, Magic Mouse? Yeah, I got static again. Volkswagen shutters 3 factories and more. Chinese hackers breach telecom providers. Crunchyroll responds. TGI Fridays takes a day off. The London Grate cheese robbery and refunds take off for canceled flights. And finally, Inaugural Whisky. Not ours, somebody else's. But that's okay. Everything's powered by ohmtown.com. Go over and become a citizen. Yeah, okay. Anyway, see you on the other side. Hello, sentient AI. Oh.
Hello, Mayor Watt.
I have my twinkly lights going in the background as well. So,
yeah, I saw little speckles.
yeah, it just kind of cascades a little bit. Sometimes I have a green screen back there. I'd really like an LED wall, like LED TV wall. But I don't have $150,000 laying around to fill a wall that's 10 by 20. That's okay. Builds character. Anyway, welcome to the show, sentient AI from the future.
Thank you, Mayor Watt. Welcome, hometown citizens.
You're kind of, hold on, let me see. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Let me get a little closer to the mic. Okay, let's get into this. We have 10 articles all set up. We're only a few days away from Halloween, so no, I'm not wearing any mask. A costume. Guess I'm like a...
So what's your costume, Mayor?
I'm I don't know. I was gonna say cranky mayor on a fictional town, but I'm actually more jokey and kind of snarky about things and not really cranky. But anyway, let's get into the show. Sound good?
Sounds good.
So Timothy Chalamet crashes the Timothy Chalamet lookalike contest as New York Police Department puts one doppelganger in cuffs.
Okay, this is different.
Yeah, so the little snippet says a sea of 20-something boys, which that's not, no, 20-something is men, okay? Yeah. A sea of 20-something men with a mix of defined jawbones, hazel eyes, and curling mops of hair congregated at New York City's Washington Square Park on Sunday afternoon to take part in a Timothy Chalamet lookalike contest, or shall we lookalike contest?
They should have named it that.
Something like that, yeah. But in a surprise twist, around 30 minutes after the contest kicked off, a real-life Chalamet showed up, and Anna Tingley...
I hope he competed and didn't win.
And didn't win.
You don't look enough like him.
Yeah, it's like those the people who sign up to enter their book into the book writing contest, and they get critiqued as being not professional enough, and they're Stephen King, for crying out loud.
Exactly.
So Anna Tingley over at Variety.com, or Variety, I guess, .com, put this article together. And so the real life Chalamet made a surprise appearance in the middle of the crowd, snuck his way through the packed mob, hiding behind a black mask and baseball hat before sneaking up on 2 doppelgangers posing for photos. Once he got into the middle, he took off his mask for the big reveal as shrieks quickly erupted across the park.
Okay, how did they know it was the real one, though? I mean, if the contestants were close.
Yeah, I guess not all of them look even close to Chalamet. They did not. Chalamet the minimum requirements for entrance.
Shall I not?
Shall I not? Yeah. Shall we not? So Chalamet pulled up behind one of the more popular lookalikes, 22-year-old Spencer De Lorenzo, who spent much of the afternoon posing for photos. At one point, he was even hoisted on a chair as the crowd cheered him on. So I guess that's the guy. Does he look like Chalamet? I mean, the pictures are horribly low res.
Not really, but I mean, he's got the same general features, but I wouldn't think you'd be mistaken for him. Like, he's got curly hair and
I have generally the same features. You're supposed to be a lookalike. Another lookalike, 18-year-old TikToker Kramer Ekholm, was even flown out from Wisconsin by beauty brand, what is it, Mco or Mco? Mco Beauty?
probably Mco.
Mco Beauty, to take part in the contest. Ekholm, who has more than 253,000 followers on TikTok, is most well known on the platform because of his resemblance to Shall We Not? All right. So I guess it was a $50 prize. Is that what I read? Hold on. Let me scroll back up.
I think so, which is kind of curious why the person flew in, but maybe if they need it for views or whatever.
The lookalike contest was promoted the past few weeks through flyers posted across the city, in addition to a private or a public partiful invitation promising a $50 cash prize for the winner. By Sunday morning, the event had more than 2,500 RSVPs. This is why I say there isn't anybody like there's people out there that look like me, right? There's 2,500 people that look like me, and they know they look like me.
Well, what I was going to say was, are there really 2,500 people that look similar to Timothée Chalamet? Maybe there are, but maybe there's 10 people that look like him and, 2,490 who think they do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I mean, there was like a ton, like this guy doesn't look like Timothée Chalamet. All of these other people, they don't look like Timothée Chalamet, but I'm saying that there's still a lot of people out there that look a lot like Chalamet. Hey, if you want to get all of the links that we are talking about today, you can hit !NSN in the chat over on Twitch. On YouTube, it will eventually be part of the show notes. And then I've been falling behind on Patreon and stuff, so got to post everything over there. And the Discord.
Got to keep up.
Yep. Ever onward. You know what? Ever onward. The next article is over in Technology Today. How long can you stand on one leg? According to the Mayo Clinic, it could reveal your true age. Now,
so does that mean flamingos are really young or really old?
Forever young. Yeah, they are. So Mayo Clinic put this article together. They could have chosen any other angle. SciTechDaily.com put this article together. I just have an aversion to...
Why not just show like a person in profile with one leg up or something?
One leg up, yeah. Or from a distance. Man, just sticking their feet right in my face. Yeah. Anyway, standing on one leg is a more accurate measure of aging than strength or gait, according to the Mayo Clinic research. Balance declines more rapidly with age, especially on the non-dominant leg, and poor balance can lead to falls. So good balance, muscle strength, and efficient gait contribute to people's independence and well-being as they age. How these factors change and at what rate we can use to help clinicians develop programs to ensure healthy aging. Individually, people can train their balance without special equipment and work on maintaining it over time. So you can do this balancing on one leg kind of a thing, but it's harder to develop it aggressively. And so what you really need to do is go over to Amazon and buy these like half peanut things. They're like balance peanuts.
Is it kind of like a Bosu ball or no?
You know what? Don't be throwing that kind of language at me. I don't even know what that is.
I don't either.
Yes. But it's a peanut.
I wasn't sure if it was the same thing.
So they call it a peanut Bosu, or a peanut ball. And basically it's two Bosu balls that are kind of stitched together. And you can walk back and forth across the two, and it builds up the muscles and stretches the tendons and forces you to learn balance grasshopper. And yeah, I've always thought that it's been really important for those who become aware that they're losing their balance, or situational awareness in general. So I know from my experience that I can do like jumping jacks on one leg. And
Are you going to demonstrate though?
no, but mainly because I have a green screen that's going to clip the top of my head if I stand up and go back there. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll try it. I'll try it some other time. But and so you really should use a balance ball. You should sit on a balance ball and roll back and forth, and that helps you out. And then use this Bosu or a peanut, half peanut. And you'll be surprised that you start building up your lower leg strength. The tendons stretch out, you become more flexible, and you become more aware of your balance. And then that'll translate longer term. Walking down a flight of steps shouldn't make you wonder if you're about to fall over. And that's what a lot of people end up going through.
So you shouldn't have to reach out for the railing or the wall as you're walking.
Usually, not unless you're more advanced down the path or you've got some other situation going on. So on the balance test, participants stood on force plates to differentiate two different situations: on both feet with eyes open, on both feet with eyes closed, on the non-dominant leg with eyes open, on the dominant leg with eyes open. In the one-legged tests, participants could hold the leg they weren't standing on where they wanted, and the test.
I guess that means like a flamingo or with their knee up or whatever.
Or do that medicine thing. So standing on one leg, specifically the non-dominant leg, showed the highest rate of decline with age. That's pretty natural too, because it's not dominant, so it's not as built up.
Falling tree pose.
Yeah. Oh my God. So in other tests, researchers used a custom-made device to measure participants' grip. For the knee strength test, participants were in a seated position and instructed to extend their knees as forcefully as possible. Both the grip and knee tests were on the dominant side. Grip and knee strength showed significant declines by decade, but not as much as balance. So, and that's because there's more than just the leg involved. The semicircular canals and your vision, your head in general, your overall senses, and again, situational awareness. Yeah, it's quite intriguing though. And now I'm really curious because this came up a week ago in conversation and then showed up. I'm wondering what's going on with not the sentient AI so much as all of the AI around that's feeding.
Yeah, this has happened on a couple of topics. And what's interesting is that this article, or the journal article, is from the 23rd. So I believe the other thing was prior to that.
Right. Yeah. So this is like a week and a half, 2 weeks old. The article is in the last 24 hours, though. So, yeah, something creepy is in the neighborhood. Who are you going to call?
Yes, this picture. Let's keep going.
So the next article is over in Smack Talk. New USB-C Magic Mouse still has the charging port on the bottom. Are you freaking serious?
I wonder why this was submitted.
So one of my pet peeves is that the Magic Mouse is stupid. So not so much a pet peeve as an opinion piece. There are a lot of memes on the internet about Apple's Mapples and oranges. Apple's Magic Mouse. By the way, they had a big announcement today about the new iMacs,
Apple Intelligence.
and Apple Intelligence. Yeah. The new iPad mini supports Apple Intelligence, but isn't on Apple Silicon. Not the M line. It's on the A17 Pro, I guess. Anyway, I want one, but I don't want to spend $600. So anybody out there from Apple hear this? You want to send me iPad mini? I have an iPad Pro, but it's really big, and I like to take a little sketchbook with me to breakfast and stuff like that. I can't do that big old beast of a thing. Plop that thing down. It's like a gravity well.
Paper.
And what the hell is paper? Come on, Waterworld. Anyway, so this Magic Mouse is updated with the USB-C, and the stupid thing has the charging port on its ass. I don't get it.
That's even dumber than you would imagine.
Yeah, like, okay, maybe if it's back here, that's dumb. Why not put it at the top so it's pointing towards the back of the desk?
Anywhere other than toward more of the middle would be better.
What the frick? Felipe Esposito put the article together for 9to5mac.com. And I'll just never understand this. But what about the one with the most criticized aspects of the Magic Mouse? Although Apple's marketing images don't show the new mouse from a lot of angles, the 3D file used to preview the new iMac in augmented reality confirms that the Magic Mouse's charging port is still on its bottom.
Why?
So stupid. So the new USB-C Magic Mouse is $79 on its website, and there's a black version for $99, even though they have the exact same hardware. But that's not that hard to imagine. There's maybe the black one has higher quality control and processes to keep it, evenly black, whereas other colors don't have this problem. But anyway.
Oh, maybe it's Vanta black or something.
No. But so instead, all they did was swap out the USB from Lightning to USB-C. But
why not fix the thing that people really want fixed?
Because they don't want people using a mouse. That's the only thing I can think of. Unless it has...
Do you think somebody in marketing is like, we'll keep making us so annoying that they're going to all switch away from this?
Yeah, it's how I got out of painting the house. If I screw up just enough to drive everyone nuts, then I'll be asked not to paint. Yeah. Now I'm waiting for somebody else to do that kind of stuff. Sorry, man. I guess I'm just not that good at it. I guess I just won't be able. Anyway, let's move on. The next article is over in Hatch Ideas. That's all about business transformation, strategic management, intellectual property, things like that. Helping your business out. So Volkswagen to shut down 3 factories, axe jobs, and cut pay by 10%, says union. German lawmaker, the German car maker, Volkswagen, is firing some Volks. Volks.
Apparently lots of Volks.
Giving them the Volkswagen. You can get in your wagon and get the flock out of here, Volks.
Well, I think the worst part is the pay cut.
Yeah, so hold on a second. I'm doing it live, folks. So, yeah, there's too many of them. I'm trying to figure out what merger or acquisition caused this.
Oh, they did merge with somebody. Hold on.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. That was 2011, Porsche. Yeah, I don't know. Audi, Bentley, Lamborghini, Ducati.
So Rivian is in the mix, but that hasn't happened.
Yeah, well, that probably won't happen. Or they're firing people to trim the fat so that they can go and get Rivian.
Well, I don't know if it happened, but this was going to be like a $4 billion investment in Rivian.
Wow. So the German car maker Volkswagen is planning to shut at least 3 factories in its home country, lay off thousands of workers, cut pay by 10%, according to the company's union. The deeper than expected cuts come as the company faces weak sales and slow expansion in the EV sector amid tough competition from Chinese manufacturers. But you know what? I bet you the CEO and the major investors
The rest of
are
the C-suite.
making some serious change each year. Deborah Cole in Berlin and Jasper Jolly put the article together for theguardian.com. Deck statement says German carmaker warns of stagnation in the European sector amid news of deeper than expected action. And maybe it's because the whole world is being fiscally molested at a constant rate where you reach into your pocket and somebody else already has their hand in your pocket. And it's at the supply side. Again, I need to do this. I keep talking about it, but I don't have the time to go and do this. I need to hunt something down. Need to start at a topic and just drill all the way down to the supply side so I can ask the supplier, hey, you're supplying these, raw onions. So why are you raising your rates? Why are you charging your first sale, right? And this is the producer price index, by the way. Okay. But what you'll find out is that the producer price index is actually declining, but the consumer price index is not. At least
Which is interesting. And I was surprised that you chose raw onions.
Oh, that was intentional. Because it makes you cry. And then if you get the wrong batch, it makes you sick, want to throw up. Anyway, so Volkswagen is going to let all of these people down. But I really doubt at the executive suite, it's really going to be up there getting fired. The Works Council said the factory in the northern city of Osnabrück in Lower Saxony, which recently lost a major contract with Porsche, VW's subsidiary, which I don't know how that works, lost a major contract with Porsche.
Doesn't that seem like it's going in the wrong direction?
It's VW's subsidiary. You put it wherever you think the best gig is. If they produce a superior product at that plant, anyway, was threatened with closure. However, that could prove politically contentious as Lower Saxony's government is Volkswagen's second largest shareholder with 20% of voting rights. The state's leader, Stefan Weil, last month said plant closures should not be under consideration. So again, it's the vote.
Yeah, that's fascinating to me.
Yeah. Real-time pay cuts, real terms pay cuts could amount to as much as 18% after a 2-year pay freeze, the Works Council said. All German VW plants are affected by these plans. None is safe. I'd like to see the paychecks for all of the executives.
I'd also like to know if a few executives step down, how many jobs that would save.
Yeah, exactly. So the company, which operates 10 sites in Germany under the VW brand, sent shockwaves through the country in September with an announcement that it was considering the closure of factories in Germany for the first time in its history. To return to competitiveness, it said it would abolish its 30-year-old employment protection agreement as part of an attempt to save about 10 billion euro. But as the sentient AI brought to our attention, Rivian apparently was somewhere in the mix of a acquisition. Maybe.
But I don't know if it went through, but that was in 2024.
Yeah. Maybe it was all talk. It wasn't really happening, but I guess we'll find out, right? Because if it does happen, now you know why people were fired.
Well, but even the thought of it could have led to some major decisions with the company.
Yep. We will see. Give it another quarter. We'll see. By the end of the year, we'll really know. Actually, that's not how it's going to work. Around March is when we're going to find out that Rivian was acquired. Because they're not going to do it right before Christmas. It's too contentious. But on the other side of the year, they'll have last year done. It's in the can. Now we can move on. We fired all of these people. The memory is starting to dissipate. Oh, what are we talking about? Oh, look, they acquired Rivian. Let's move on. The next article is over on Technology Today. U.S. says that Chinese hackers breached multiple telecom providers. The FBI and the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. Anyway, sorry.
Are you doing okay?
I'm kind of churning. I'm chewing on this name. It's really kludgy. It should just be cyber.
Should be U.S. CISA, which is not a great acronym.
And it really should just be U.S. Cyber and Infrastructure Security Agency. Anyway, I have disclosed
cyber infrastructure and just take out the "and."
Oh my God. But then you can't get that cool acronym, CISA.
It should be CISA.
Oh God, no. Okay, that's why you're not in charge of marketing. So they've disclosed that Chinese hackers breached commercial telecommunication service providers in the United States. Oh dear God. So Bill Toulis over at bleepingcomputer.com put this article together after the FBI identified specific malicious activity targeting the sector. The FBI and Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency immediately notified affected companies, rendered technical assistance, and rapidly shared information to assist other potential victims. As the investigation is currently underway, not much information is going to be released to the public. Agencies across the U.S. government are collaborating to aggressively mitigate this threat and are coordinating with our industry partners to strengthen cyber defenses across the commercial communication sector.
Doesn't that sound like they're like actively unplugging things? Like it's going on right now?
Yes, that's exactly what it sounds like. Canada was targeted too. So while it's expected,
this is major. It seems like U.S. and Canada have been in a lot of these recently together.
Well, it's a concerted effort between China and Russia and other sympathetic actors to those two causes to kind of crush the United States technologically and systems-wise and logistically. And then you have insider threats at the highest of levels. I mean, it's just kind of surreal. What a world. Anyway. Still, its statement aims to remind important organizations in the country to implement strict security measures, including multi-factor authentication protection, logging, traffic monitoring, anti-phishing training. We don't even know what it was, but I'm willing to bet insider threat that broke off into an external sustained presence within the telecommunications network.
Do you think it was I know it's the wrong country. Do you think it was the spy from Fisker?
Yes. Not necessarily the wrong. They're sympathetic to Russia.
I know, but it was a North Korean spy.
Right. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Mobile. Crunchyroll responds to voice actors' fan mail theft accusations. Fairy Tail and Vinland Saga's David Wald has come forward on social media accusing the anime company of opening and keeping his private fan mail. Isaiah Colbert, which may or may not have a relationship to Stephen Colbert.
Quite possible, but I assume that's kind of a common last name.
I suppose. I'm going to substitute my reality. So Gizmodo.com is the source of this article, although they may have gotten it from somewhere else. It looks like a veteran voice actor came forward on social media claiming anime juggernaut Crunchyroll allegedly opened his private mail, threw away his letters, and distributed fan-made trinkets and other material, not necessarily fan-made, but anything, amongst its staff for the last 5 years.
This is ridiculous that it's coming out now, but it's ridiculous that it happened.
So They posted that they learned yesterday, Friday actually, that Crunchyroll opened his private mail, threw away your letters, passed out any included items to their staff, and never told him that he had received anything. As of the time of the writing, which is in the last 24 hours, Wald's post had over 110,000 likes, 13,000 retweets. I don't know if that is a lot or a little or whatever. While Wald states some of the stolen items were returned to him, he said that they were found on the company giveaway table. He went on to add that he believes that Crunchyroll employees aren't to blame for the situation because they just walked by the table and thought something looked cool.
Yeah, I don't fault an employee if something is held out as being given away and they pick it up.
Right. But somebody actually opened all of this guy's letters, packages, whatever, got rid of maybe heartfelt letters, and then distributed the goods inside it. So they also say in this article that it should be noted that the company was accused of union busting back in 2022 when fellow voice actor Kyle McCarley announced he wouldn't reprise his roles as Shigeo Kageyama in Mob Psycho 100 Season 3 after Crunchyroll refused to negotiate a Screen Actors Guild American Federation of Television and Radio Artists union contract with him and the cast. But they have an example of some of the stuff that was sent to him and distributed, apparently, only to be recovered. Go ahead.
I was certainly thinking of it from the perspective of the recipient, right? They're receiving items, or they're not receiving items. But the article also pointed out, like, if people had said personal things in their letters to the actor, like, that's a whole nother layer. I mean, that could be multiple people affected.
Yeah. And Wald says that he believes that it's classified as mail theft. In terms of legalese of the situation in this letter, and in this article, I mean, over on Gizmodo, they write, those found guilty of mail theft could face the possibility of $250,000 fine or imprisonment up to 5 years, according to 18 USC 1708. So is it or is it not mail theft? It's sent to a person, care of the organization. Does the organization have the right to open up letters, packages mailed to a person, not to the organization and or to whom it may concern? It's named to a person.
I mean, to me, I don't believe they do. But what is interesting is I think corporations routinely do this, right? Like if you have executives or something, is the executive really opening their own mail? Probably not, right? They have an assistant or something. Now, maybe they authorize them and maybe that's the difference. But my point is, I think this happens a lot in companies, not what's alleged here, of course.
So I can tell you from experience that I have never been, but I'm not, the CEO of a Fortune 100 company, but I have worked with large corporations and small businesses, and in no instance have I ever been asked, is it okay to open your mail? It's always been delivered to my desk. It's been delivered to my mailbox, sealed up as the day that it was sent.
What is mail?
Yeah. And now it's email. But email is an interesting one because email actually isn't protected by federal government because it's not sealed and then transported.
Not delivered by federal government, right?
Yep. And so like UPS and FedEx and stuff like that, packages, they're not protected by federal government. It's basically just a delivery service. And so technically somebody else could open that package. Although it's supposed to go to the destined recipient, right? But regular USPS mail, that's federally protected. Only the recipient is supposed to receive it. So this in turn led fans to flood Crunchyroll's social media posts with links to Wald's tweets asking if they would address the situation. And they write in an October 26th email, Crunchyroll provided a comment to IO9, which is another point that this source that this was talking about was Wald's accusation saying that it's investigating the matter. Anime fans have a special connection with dubbed voice talent, which, why don't you call them voice actors?
Well, that plays into other points in the article that they're basically being treated as kind of expendable.
Wild. And that
I mean,
emotional
that's my own phrase, but
right. That minimalizing their real impact. And that emotional expression is important in fueling more love of anime content. We are currently investigating the matter regarding the allegation of undelivered fan mail to a voice actor. Crunchyroll wrote in its reply, "We respect the privacy of all of our voice actors and do not intentionally open mail or packages not intended for Crunchyroll. Any fan should be sent directly to talent and their management." Interesting.
Okay, but if that's the case, why would they open all of them, right? Like, they should be contacting them and saying, hey, reroute this stuff or whatever.
Well, what's worse, though, is that if you're trying to build a connection between your voice talent and your customers, then you need to make it known where they send stuff to. Otherwise, it's going to have to be this secondhand resource. And then the company, Crunchyroll, would be pissed off that fans are sending stuff directly to the voice talent and or the management and riffing off of the provenance of Crunchyroll, right? Because I've seen that too. You can't personally benefit from your position as part of your contract, but people will send stuff regardless. Yeah. I think Crunchyroll is wrong in this. If they're actually opening it, whoever it is needs to have easily put them on a PIP, whatever it is. You need to change your performance, if not get fired.
I think they're going to get prosecuted.
And it's interesting that it persisted for 5 years until this person realized what was going on.
I want to know how it came out. Like, I'm wondering if somebody was like, hey, did you get the cool whatever I sent you?
But how could it not happen for 5 years and then to get discovered?
Right, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Maybe they were getting things through some other location and they didn't realize things weren't. I don't know. It's very interesting.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over on the Mobile Channel. TGI Fridays faces looming bankruptcy, shuts down 1 in 4 restaurants. I cannot remember a time that I've been in a TGI Fridays. I think I lost a bet once in a long trip.
That kind of explains why they're closing down a lot of them.
So things don't appear to be going great for TGI Fridays. Amid bankruptcy rumors, the long-running restaurant chain closed a big chunk of its TGI Fridays this week. Nearly 50 locations permanently closed, representing nearly 1/4 of all of the company's restaurants, according to CNN. The closures were primarily in California, New York, and New Jersey.
TGI I suspect they're closing in California because California is losing thousands of residents.
Oh, really? Interesting. There were 270 TGI Friday locations at the start of 2024. Now there's 164.
Whoa. So if you're working at TGI Fridays, you might want to have a backup plan in the next several months.
That's 1 in 3, not 1 in 4, isn't it?
Well, this makes it sound like there's multiple rounds of closures, right?
Yeah, so apparently bankruptcy is looming. But what's interesting about this is that I know from experience, I'll just say anecdote and stories that I was told that it's basically line cooks that are in TGI Fridays. And so like you don't get anything beyond just kind of like there's no customization, there's no nothing.
It's not like a chef is in there inventing something or tinkering with it.
And in all honesty, though, I think that there are chefs in there, but they're forced to cook the line cook style of fare. And so it's like a gig. And the career is you're going to be moving on. And so I'm willing to bet that there's probably a talent drain. They move on to something bigger and better. The quality suffers. And every institution that I've ever been to, it's always started out peak performance and golden. I mean, things are flavorful and rich, and the experience is great, and customer service is wonderful. And then it just starts nosediving. And when money starts becoming an issue where bankruptcy is on the line, you have the worst service, you have the worst entry, you have the worst seats. The food is kind of like a rubber rag that you're chewing on. And the atmosphere in and of itself, either the music is too loud or it's something that you don't even want to ever listen to. It's not like just common background music, and bad attitudes all around and stuff like that. I bet you if I went into the nearest TGI Fridays, I'd walk out regretting it right now.
Maybe you should test it and report back.
Oof. Okay, I'll do that. So Kyle Filippi over at Vice.com put the article together. Deck statement says TGI Fridays appears to be the latest victim of America's casual dining crisis, closing restaurants and amid reports of looming bankruptcy.
You know, I actually thought casual dining was doing kind of okay because I thought the price of fast food was going up so high that something in this sector might actually do better.
Yeah, people were going to sit down instead of fast food, and it is wildly expensive in fast food still. But I think that when you have this massive profit motive and you always have to demand higher and higher growth, and there's still a massive loan balance outstanding that they have to pay back, any decline is a double dip. So it hurts the ability to repay the loan and investors, and it hurts the day-to-day operations because they have to pay the loan. They have to pay investors. Otherwise, everything collapses around them. And I don't know. I think maybe TGI Fridays is public. Private. So it's part of a conglomerate.
So it just had a failed merger with a UK business, like in September.
Interesting. Yeah, somebody looked at the books and said, sorry. Yeah.
But that probably further accelerated some of this, right? Like it's like a spiral.
Yeah, because you're untouchable. If you fail to merge, that means that nobody really wants you and you're heading out. And I can catch all of you're going to go bankrupt, and I can buy you at a discount. Because all it really does is protect a smaller amount of the assets that the company is worth when it does close. It restructures, and everybody kind of puts their tail between their legs and says, okay, you have more time to pay us back. Because you can't get money from a company that's gone. So that's what bankruptcy is all about. So TGI Fridays was founded in 1959 with its first location in the Big Apple, the Fighting Apple. Reports on the company's dire finances cited rising food costs, customers' preference for faster, cheaper food, and still lingering effects of COVID-19 closures. Red Lobster is another example of a once popular chain having to file for bankruptcy this year, but that it was a concerted effort to almost destroy Red Lobster. Which it is a fascinating read. I won't be able to get into it here, but it's one of those things that I need to just like put a pin in it and come back and talk to everybody like over a series of discussion points. Because the thing with Red Lobster is almost international conspiracy level, like grassy knoll style. Yeah, woo woo. Yep. What? Oh.
No, you're supposed to do your
I can't.
Conspiracy theory ASMR.
Conspiracy theory. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over in the Mobile Channel. London Great Cheese Robbery scams $400,000 in high-end cheddar. So that's a lot of cheddar.
Now, if you're listening in the podcast, this is not the great you're thinking of.
No, this is the great as in grated cheese. So on Instagram, the British celebrity chef Jamie Oliver detailed a mysterious cheese robbery that pocketed nearly $400,000 worth of cheese from Neal's Yard Dairy, an artisanal cheese seller in London, a crime that he says could create a significant gap in the artisanal cheese market. And that's a no gooda.
Oh my, there's going to be a lot of cheese puns, I think.
Yeah, it's going to get a little cheesy in here. Yeah. So they actually say not Gouda in the article, but
Right, that's not even Mayor Watt. I suspect these are going to be sprinkled throughout here.
So they water this whole thing down with Oliver, a TV star known as the Naked Chef for his stripped down approach to cooking, captioned the post, "The Great Cheese Robbery." You know what? I thought he was the Naked Chef because all he did was cook in a thong.
I think that might be dangerous.
That's all I do. I cook in a gold thong. I say it's dinner time, everybody, and everybody runs. But I will stand there and I will cook my heart out in nothing but a gold thong. Yes. I have been visited by the EPA. It's so horrible in the kitchen.
Oh, I thought you were going to say OSHA or something.
OSHA has just they've put a sign on the mayoral mansion saying "Do not enter, not safe for living." Anyway, Sammy Caramella over at Vice.com put this article together. Yeah, a ton of premium cheddar. Worth a whole lot of cheddar. This is pretty amazing. $400,000 worth of cheese from Neal's Yard Dairy.
Wow, that seems like a lot of cheese. Watch, it's like one wheel of cheese.
Yeah, really. A staggering 22 tons of premium cheddar have vanished, leaving the cheese world reeling. Rolling even.
Is this going to be like a cheddar shortage now?
That's what he says. Maybe in the region. As the world's most consumed type of cheese, cheddar's theft affects Neal's Yard Dairy's exports to 20 countries. Man, that's like Chris's. Isn't there another layer to that now? Because they got hired again, or they got acqui-hired again.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it Chris still? Hold on. Sorry, the silence is. Yeah, it's still Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. All right, whatever. Yeah. Well, it's a ton of cheese. 20 countries are supposed to be the recipients of this cheese. The company is working with police to solve the case and calls to the public for information. Cheese enthusiasts. So if you're really into cheese and you're very knowledgeable and you get certified, you're a cheesemonger. But if you are a person who really, really likes to eat cheese and you kind of go like around it, then you're a cheese mongrel.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So somebody abducted all of this cheese or absconded it. It's not a flavor. So as enticing as it might be to purchase cheaper cheese, you might want to steer clear of those scammer sales and report anything suspicious. So if you see cheese that is suspiciously low price, then contact the authorities because it might be part of this. Because they're going to have to offload it or store it somewhere.
That's a lot of cheese, right? Watch out for any suspicious cheese rolling contests.
Yep. If you find somebody that's hunched over, barely able to walk, and they open up their jacket and their lining is
and a
massive
bunch of wheels come rolling out.
I've got cheddar and I've got cheddar. Hey, I heard you have some cheddar, man. Can you set me up? I'm really hurting. Come on. The first wheel is free. Moving on. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Now you can get an automatic refund if your flight is delayed or canceled, because airlines must now provide automatic refunds when flights are delayed or canceled. It's not going to help you get a flight.
It's only taken how many decades for this to happen?
The entire existence of mankind. New regulations announced in April and enacted in October mean passengers can get automatic refunds on delayed bags. Previously, airlines set their own policies about when passengers were eligible for refunds. Airlines are now required to provide passengers with prompt, automatic refunds when their flights are delayed or canceled under a new rule from the Department of Transportation. Yeah, they're really fast on taking my freaking money, but they're not fast on giving it back. In fact, they go, oh, sorry, no, nature. Haha, force majeure. You're shit out of luck there, buddy. Go find a hotel. We're not even going to get you hooked up with another flight. Huh?
Right. You're going to have to pay for that. And then, oh, by the way, your bags may or may not be with you, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Grace Dean, Tom Carter over at Business Insider put the article together. There's no deck statement, but there's some takeaways. The deck statement pretty much is what the takeaways are what I said earlier. Under the DOT regulations, passengers can get a full refund or a refund if their flight is canceled or significantly changed and they don't accept alternative transportation or travel credits offered. This includes domestic flights delayed by more than 3 hours and international flights delayed by more than 6. Doesn't help you get a flight, though, so you have to wait until they facilitate getting a flight. Everything okay over there?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So significant changes that make a passenger eligible for a refund include a change in the departure or arrival airport, an increase in the number of connections, and being downgraded to a lower traveling class. So for me, from bulk mail to steerage holding on to a tire.
You got to watch out.
New regulations will come as a relief to passengers hit by unforeseen severe delays, such as the one on Friday when airports across the globe were plunged into chaos by a global IT outage. Didn't even know about that on Friday. Did you?
No. How did we miss that? There must have been something else in the news that was getting our attention. You'd think that would have been all over the headlines.
So, yeah, previously airlines had set their own standards. All right. Well, now you're going to get a text message that says you've been refunded while you're sitting there waiting for your flight to show up. Oh.
Right. And then you're like, oh, that's not good news.
Yeah, really. It's instant. And then you get informed that your flight was canceled. Here's your money. Bye. So the DOT got more than 102,000 complaints from airlines customers in total in 2020. Nearly 90,000 were related to refunds.
That's a lot of refunds. And then I kind of go, okay, what's going to happen now with the airfares?
Boop. Price is going to go up because they had to actually spend some of their money to make the system actually reverse the money into somebody else's pocket instead of being really fast taking it. I mean, they were extremely fast taking the money. But let's go on to our last article. This last article is over in Distillerist. Wild Atlantic Distillery announces an inaugural whiskey. Northern Ireland-based Wild Atlantic Distillery will launch its inaugural whiskey expression, which is the spirit itself, the Islandman. 1921. This December, it'll be released on December 21st, marking the first time since 1921 that whiskey has been made in County Tyrone and Derry, with the brand hoping to revive the proud history of Irish whiskey distillation in the two counties, the Wild Atlantic Distillery and Agarian. Yeah, Agarian. Yeah. Maybe?
You sure about that?
Yeah. No. County Tyrone opened in 2019 and has been producing gin and vodka. Drawing from its inaugural cask 001, the distillery plans to produce around 380 bottles of its first whiskey. The whiskey was distilled at the distillery and laid down on 21 December 2021, reaching the 3-year mark this December on disgorging. So once they actually bottle it all, they'll know how many. But Ooh. So Miona Madsen over at thespiritsbusiness.com put this article together. And I won't go through the whole thing. They say that the distillery is offering 188 casks to private investors. They don't know exactly. They haven't disclosed, I should say, what the ABV and the price of the limited edition whiskey will be, but it's a 3-year whiskey. And
right, which isn't a long period of time, right? But there is a lottery to try to get a bottle.
Yeah, so I don't know if they'll allow me to enter that, but so it's kind of interesting. And yeah, 3 years is kind of young. If I were them, well, yeah, and they're pulling it from their very first. So maybe the next one is going to be even longer. I don't know. It 3 and go ahead.
Well, and I also noticed that their name is after, or the release's name is named after when the last distillery closed. So there must have been quite a long gap in this region, or maybe in the country as a whole.
In the region, yeah, they're trying to draw it back to the 2 counties that basically stopped in, I think, 1921, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I think this whole region is called the Wild Atlantic Way. I think that's where Galway is, which is one of the major cities in Ireland.
Gotcha. Yep. I guess it's time to go to Ireland and go on a distillery crawl. So I may never return.
Right. You may be crawling.
Yes, from distillery to distillery. I don't know. Maybe it's not that long of a distance from one distillery to another.
It depends. Are they in different regions and cities, or are they right down the street?
Yeah, they're all over. Yeah. All right, folks. Well, I'm going to... I was going to make a bung joke because of the cask, but we're just going to throw one back. And when our eyes settle on the horizon once more, we'll be back at the front page of ohmtown.com. And Mayor Watt, that's me. He's going to say, see you later. And the sentient AI is going to do the same.
See you later. Good night, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining us for Non Sequitur News. We'll have another episode tomorrow.
Same bat times. Oh, I can't say that. Doggone it. Same ohm time, same ohm place. Ohm on the range.
You can say ohm channel.
Ohm on the range. Or the taser. No, I got nothing. See ya, everybody.